comment on the announcement from the Friends of Syria meeting by some countries in the Gulf that they intend to start paying salaries for the Syrian opposition, and on the U.S. offer to provide communications equipment to the opposition? What do you think of it?
The so-called conference of the enemy of Syria in Istanbul is in itself a violation and contradiction of Mr. Kofi Annan's mission. This is a parallel track set up by the enemies of Syria to compete with Mr. Kofi Annan's mission. Not only maybe to compete, maybe to undermine this mission as a whole. So all the parties who are sponsoring publicly the armed groups in Syria should bear the responsibility of their acts, including what Saudi Arabia said, including what Qatar is doing, including what Saudis are doing, including what Turkey is doing, including what all these people who attended the enemies of Syria meetings in Istanbul. Everybody should bear the responsibility of their acts. They are working against the will of the so-called international community, represented by Mr. Kofi Annan's mission. So the question should be addressed to these people who are violating and competing and undermining the mission of Kofi Annan.
What about the communications equipment of the U.S.? I just wonder, do you see that as somehow different? Are they undermining the mission, or is that...
Who?
The United States said it's going to provide communications equipment, non-lethal communications equipment to the opposition.
Every single act that is not in line with the provisions of Mr. Kofi Annan's mission is a violation of this mission. So everybody should bear the responsibility, including the United States claims of supplying communications and other kind of supplies. And for those who said it publicly that they would like to send even money and salaries to these armed groups in Syria, somebody should put them at the confessional seat in the Security Council and ask them why they are doing that. This is not only a violation of the Charter. This is not a violation of Mr. Kofi Annan's mission. This is a violation and a declaration of war against the sovereignty of Syria.
Will the Syrian government go ahead with completing all of these elements and the commitment, the withdrawal from population centers, the end of use of heavy weapons?
That will be part of the final deal. That will be part.
If the opposition during this period leading up to April 10th does not take steps, similar steps to stop fighting, will you go ahead with that even if there aren't any steps on the other side before April 10th?
There is no room for if. We are working very closely and very carefully all the details, all the relevant details to the mission, to the fulfillment of Mr. Kofi Annan's mission. In our concept, there is no if.
Respecting the ceasefire.
On Friday, it would be impossible to withdraw from all the population centers as if there was still unrest or fighting going on there. Does the commitment to withdraw by April 10th supersede any previous statements? Are you going to be out of all population, or are there conditions for that withdrawal?
The plan of Mr. Kofi Annan is about 6 points, not only one.